They employ half of all private sector workers, 26 million small businesses. But when it comes to small business doing business with the federal government, location matters. The Associated Press found firms within 50 miles of the White House grab nearly $1 of every $3 in federal contracts awarded to small businesses. Contracts that tend to be 3 times larger than those won by firms outside Washington. Jonathan Spiegel has come to Washington from Belchertown, Massachusetts. The consultant is after a slice of the federal contract dollar.
It's really having the opportunity to compete that I'm talking about. Being able to get in the door to be able to do that.
But it's a long way from central Massachusetts to Capitol Hill. Spiegel says that distance makes getting jobs difficult.
You don't have daily access, you don't have long-standing relationships with people in government who do the purchasing of the contracting work.
The AP analyzed 9 million awards worth nearly $1 trillion handed out in the last 4 years. Federal law says at least 23% of contract dollars must go to small companies, but there's no requirement tax dollars be spread equally. A large chunk of the billions in tax dollars spent on small business contracts ends up here at companies clustered in office parks just outside Washington's Beltway. Companies that are not so small. Federal records show QSS Group in Lanham, Maryland has snared some 800 contracts valued at $625 million. It has more than 1,400 employees and revenues of $300 million.
We've been fighting with the government now for 5 years to simply find out who's really getting these contracts, and they're not very excited about people knowing that some of the biggest companies in the world are actually getting small business contracts.
But the system has its champions. Sandy Levine runs a public relations firm that seeks government work. She says to compete in Washington, you have to be in Washington.
We meet with their customers, we talk with them, we attend the same educational events, and we go to the same restaurants, we travel in the same circles, and that's crucial.
The rules are changing. The Small Business Administration now requires companies be certified, large or small. But there is this loophole. Big firms can have small business contracts for another 5 years. Jonathan Spiegel says getting these often amounts to a game.
Being part of the game is not something which necessarily brings the best service to our government, to our people.
The small business owner on the prowl for government work, where big business now seems to rule. Lee Powell, The Associated Press, Washington.